Area of interest.
Area of interest, yes. Can someone tell me why an area of interest is useful?
Because it makes you focus on a specific area or where things are expected, which are part of the mission objectives.
Quite right. Yes, it allows you to narrow your focus. It's a bit like putting the blinkers on in some ways. It just allows you to kind of realistically identify what most likely would be a target hotspot. Let's say we're doing recon with multiple squads. What else is another useful reason for AOIs if you're using multiple squads for recon?
You can focus in each squad without.
Yes. So one squad can focus on one, while the other one focus on the other, and the idea is to cover as much zone reconnaissance as possible in the shortest amount of time. And why do we want to spend the shortest amount of time doing recon? Why don't we want to linger in a hot AO?
The longer you got your head out, the longer somebody might see you and shoot it.
Quite right, yes.
Can I rephrase that, Abati?
Of course you can, mate. Yes, please do.
We want to recon as long as we can without being spotted. And the longer we stay there, the higher the risk of being spotted. So you want to weigh up the risk of being spotted versus the amount of intelligence you can gather.
So you're doing your normal thing, Rodel, and elongating things very, very well, rather better than I ever seem to. So yes, so that's basically it, guys. You want to obviously spend as much time as you can getting information, but obviously it's risk versus reward. So the longer you spend in front of the enemy, the more likely the chances are of you getting spotted. So, brilliant stuff. Now, everyone kind of, well, we've all been doing this far too long now, along with myself. So, obviously, we have the kind of the idea behind the tools and the equipment that we utilise in order to intel to the best of our abilities. Can someone sort of just tick off some of the stuff that we'd most likely look to utilise in a situation like this?
Drone.
Drone, yep. Why is the drone useful?
Joined your channel.
Because it gives you a aerial perspective of things. You're able to see things you can't from a...
Yep, you don't require a line of sight. You can literally just, as long as you're operating it from a safe area, you can also look to, extend beyond the sight lines of anything a normal human being would be able to see. Brilliant. Anything else, guys?
Depending on the time, we need to observe the deployable cameras.
Deployable cameras, yep, we've utilised those before. They're very useful. You can also look to, you can leave them in place, continue observing without any real risk to human life. So that's brilliant. What's a pair of binocs that we've got that no one else has but we do?
Ooh, the MX2A.
MX2A, yes. In some ways, they are your best friend.
Yes,
especially
we're the only one that has them. Yeah.
Yeah,
that helps.
Anyway, let me just say, we're the only ones that actually ever seem to use them. Everyone else seems to think they're just a good thing to prop books up with or something like that. So basically they're very useful, especially in nighttime operations. And most likely we do tend to run recon in a nighttime environment. Can anyone tell me why? Very self-explanatory.
Because we're sneaky.
We are sneaky, yes. It's hard to see. Allows us to almost move unsighted, and as long as we keep kind of a low profile, it allows us to move into positions that we wouldn't normally be able to do, especially if the enemy has no night vision or night equipment. So brilliant. Okay, guys. So this evening we are carrying on directly from where we left last week. And apart from Hans, who decided he wanted to do something else that was rather more important than attending SP, what did we do on Sunday last week? Anybody?
Artillery?
Yes, we did.
We secured a foothold at FOB Campbell by having 4th Squad providing artillery support from a QRF force attacking from the north and west.
Rodel, that's why I love you, mate. You've obviously up to date on roll call. Brilliant stuff. Good man. Yes. So basically, guys, this area we're in now, we established a foothold around outside a defensive perimeter, and we look to practice and utilise call for fires from 4th Squad in order to repel enemy QRF and establish ourselves on this island. And because of such, we've been able to do so. We've been flying in plentiful supplies and reinforcements into the airfield, into the airport as time has gone by. 2nd and 4th Squad have already set out and done their bivouacs and their recon from areas. We are designated this evening to go and do ours. So if everyone wants to open up their map for us. Everyone got their maps open?
Yep.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, guys. So in the middle of the map there, you should see the area reconnaissance that we're doing, and it's basically roughly about a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer area that we are going to be looking to recon out today. So that is the area reconnaissance that we will be doing. Within those, even if I hadn't written in where the AOIs are, Why are those areas of interest? Why would they be the most likely places to square up like we have? Could be some terrain.
Concentrated area of buildings.
Yeah, concentrated area of buildings. Anybody else?
There is infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Yep. Yep.
Most likely, where no, I lost it. Sorry.
No, it's all good, mate. No, all good. So yeah, so it's all to do with kind of when we do come to recon, guys, it's kind of common sense in some ways of looking to get the best position we can in order to get sight lines, but also at the same time looking to ascertain where the most likely area that the enemy would be saturated. Obviously, we can't prepare for anything, and more likely than not, we will be surprised. But if we can do anything that we can in order to get a step ahead, that's the way forward. So realistically, you guys have picked that up quite well. We've got areas, built-up areas. We've got dockyard areas. We've got infrastructure such as roads and ASRs that look to push in between them all. So when we come to a blank area of recon, guys, so imagine if none of this was on the map, this was something we would probably most likely look to do before we set out on mission. So we looked at, obviously everyone has the knowledge and skill base in order to do it, so we look to sort of predetermine TRPs, we look at area of interest, places where we most likely might find the enemy, we'll also look at ASRs. Why is it useful to name the auxiliary service roads? Anybody? Why is it useful?
Well, you have multiple roads, and so.
Yep. So if you've got multiple roads, you can also, so you can basically look to call out if you see an enemy or you're looking to give all movement orders or anything along those lines. If you've got something that you can quickly reference rather than just saying the road on the left, which I've heard numerous times in mount work and it kind of gets a bit painful. It's just able to kind of speed things up a little bit, much like I should do when I talk. So.
Squeaky guy, you're hot miking.
Nico, you're slaughtering us with that.
Oh dear. Is Xander here, just out of curiosity?
Negative.
He is not. Okay, he should be hopefully joining us at some point. I know he tends to try and get in. Yes, he's not. Okay, cool. Just keep that. Skeki, if you see him jumping above, would you mind grabbing him and pulling him down?
Okay.
You absolute hero. Fantastic. Right. Okay, guys. So today we're going to be setting up our bivouac at OP1. Everyone got eyes on OP1?
Seen.
Fantastic. So from this position, guys, we're going to look to try and scout out as much as we can from there. We're going to be utilising the blue for the androids. Everyone happy with using the androids? And Gino, mate, you happy with the knowledge on the androids?
Yes, I am.
Good man. Love it. So yes, that's what basically we're doing. We're going to be setting up our bivouac. We're going to be just doing our first preemptive recon from there. We will be having to basically set up our own preemptive recon position, guys. So if you've got your maps open, I'll explain it now. Actually, no, I'll get us over there and then we can go a little bit more in depth. So, everyone kind of happy? Everyone got any questions?
Nope.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. All right, guys, stand by. We've got an arsenal and our standard Viking loadouts over there. The reason why you have a full arsenal, guys, is we were going to be looking to take moderators or suppressors with us just for the raid portion. So, all right, stand by, everybody. Oh, actually, hang on. Before I do that, just for immersion's sake, you know, I'm all about that immersion, aren't I?
We're turning Acre on?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, go Acre on.
Hours later.
Da 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 da.
Everyone hear me all right?
Affirmative.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, cool. All right, guys, stand by. It's going to be us to our bivouac that we have set up.
Make sure you guys grab us, sir.
There will be, there's an arsenal over there as well, guys, just in case.
Oh.
Never quite know. I've heard it been called both, so I never quite know which one to.
I'm certain it's just myself being uncultured.
You uncultured swine.
Stand by, gents.
I'm
Stand by.
Yeah.
There we are. Welcome, gents.
Oh no, med frag.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You're joking, right?
There you go.
No,
Nope.
you weren't joking. Okay.
I'm okay.
Just to clarify, that did not alert the enemy somehow. So anyway, cool. They are obviously deaf. All right. Fantastic. Okay, guys. So when we do look to these recon in a nighttime environment, what factors really come into play, especially when we're moving, when we're operating, when we know that the enemy's close? What's something that's really important, which I preach quite significantly? Noise discipline. Oh yes, yes.
Light discipline.
Light discipline as well. Yeah. Any others?
Also the lasers counted with the light.
Well, yep, that's it. Yes, laser. That's a good one. Yep, the amount of time. If anyone was at Warfare Wednesday on Wednesday, it was
Oh
a
boy.
bit like a light show. It was literally like being at a festival, listening to I don't know, Aqua. or something like that.
Marshmallow. There you
Yes. So that's obviously one thing. Even though the enemy doesn't necessarily have night vision, it's just very useful to not have it on all the time. Most likely it's quite useful for, especially for marking targets or letting other members of your squad know where an enemy is, so do let's try and have it off as much as possible. Especially if the enemy does have night vision, then it's very easy to figure out where you are because they just follow the beam. Another one, guys, as well is obviously low profile. I remember once we were doing recon and we had a certain member from a certain company with us that decided they wanted to stay standard the entire time out of cover and wondered why they got shot. So obviously you want to look to try and keep your movement to a minimum and keep a low profile at all times, especially when you know you're operating. Yes, there you are. That's pretty much sums it up better than I ever could. So brilliant stuff. All right, guys. So what we're going to be looking to do? How many we got? So obviously Boyd is on LOA this week. So could someone volunteer to take Alpha for me? Anyone want to step up to take Alpha?
Yeah, Encino can.
Encino, good man.
Boy.
Good man. Didn't have to
Real
ask
quick,
3
about
times.
to say you're gonna want to
Yes.
see Shaq from us, from Stuart and I.
Oh yeah, I'll check on the squad actually.
Yeah. You can see you guys.
That would make perfect sense.
Do we have a full arsenal? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we should do. Just if you need to grab those moderators, guys, suppressors, guys, just go ahead and make sure you've got them.
And that's
and then we'll
right
go
here.
through the plan.
Other than suppressor.
I don't have interact right now.
Maybe did I not put it on?
No, it's working. Maybe try shifting around, get closer to it. Are you holding Windows?
Yeah, Windows and left control, and it's
Just Windows.
Just Windows. for-
Windows.
Just Windows.
Yeah, Windows and left control is self-interact.
Oh, I don't even have self interact for some reason.
I'm bad for that light show. Alt tab and
No. Do you have a gaming keyboard?
Yeah.
For light show.
Turn off the gaming mode of your keyboard.
Oops, sorry, Colin.
Good
Oh, there it is.
Call. Good call.
Awesome,
Good
dude. Thank you.
I think it was
as well. Cool. Right, so Geki, I'm putting full trust in these loadouts. I am not going to take anything else from the arsenal. I've just taken the team leader preemptive preload, and then I'm literally just grabbing just a suppressor, and I'll let you know if there's anything that's missing.
For sure.
Fantastic.
Where
Awesome.
are you finding loadouts? Oh, never mind. I know what you're doing.
What?
Right. All right, guys. So let's go. So I got Encino in red. Okay, mate. Connolly, mate. Did you want to join us on the ground, or?
I am at the ground with you.
I'll go ahead and shack on us, mate. Colour up red. Encino will be your FTL. Love it. Brilliant stuff. Are you guys going to run as 5 and 6? Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome stuff. Did you want to tweak what I've put out there? I've already started some. Everyone put their hands over their ears, remember. Put your hands over your ears.
Fancy animations and stuff.
Yes, you're happy to just kind of govern that. We're going to obviously look to push to. Okay, I'll say that in briefing. You'll understand what I tell everyone.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Cool.
If you're finished with your loadouts, just take a knee around us. Actually, look at that. Well done, Geki. It even has a mag light on it, so I can actually see the map. That's fantastic. All right, cool. All right, everyone happy? Can everyone tell me where we are right now? Just go ahead and highlight the map where we are. Yep. Fantastic. All right, guys. So the idea is we're going to look to just do a preemptive bit of recon from this position. We're most likely going to look to prioritise on AOI Suffolk and Cornwall. Most likely to have Alpha looking to scout out Suffolk, we'll have Bravo scouting out Cornwall. And then the idea is then we'll let's try and push over the water and let's try and gather some sort of foothold in the town of Terrapung. Why was Terrapung a good position to look to try and scout from? Anybody?
We have multiple places of concealment.
Yep.
We're covered from the other AOIs due to terrain. And we have an easy retreat.
Easy retreat, yep, straight back across the way we go, guys. Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there, Rodel. So I've set up some preemptive OPs. This is something that we most likely look to do when we do plan. Obviously, I've preemptively put everything in, but it's just to give you guys an understanding of what we would necessarily be doing when doing an area reconnaissance. So the idea is, guys, is we're going to do a quick recon from this position. Then we're looking to push over the river under the cover of darkness. We're then looking to neutralise any targets that we can scout out, well, that we've already scouted out in the town of Terrapung. Once we know that the town, the little hamlet is clear, we're going to look to set up our recon positions from there, and then we'll look to organise to look to get eyes on the rest of the AOIs. So that is the reason, guys, we're going to be doing a little hasty raid on that town, looking to set a foothold, recon up the best we can of all the remaining AOIs, and then from that we're then pulling back out to the bivouac. Any questions? I see you put your exclamation mark down there, Colin.
There's only one roadway into that area, that bridge. That's it. Outside amphibious, so any motorized element would have to come through that bridge.
So if you have a look on the little map there, reading the terrain, I believe that should be shallow enough for the Stryker to cross. Obviously, if it's not, we'll then have to look to pre-plan otherwise. But at this time, I believe I'm actually going to check now. You've made me doubt myself. How dare you, Connolly?
Sorry, I was just pointing out the one-way bridge.
Yep, no, you're good. That is deep enough. Unless everyone had a large lunch, we should be able to cross that.
Well, you're not supposed to swim 45 minutes after you eat.
Get a cramp.
That's the plan, guys. We're going to look to set up our recon position here for a brief moment. We're going to look to have about a couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so here. Look to get as much as we can. So what do we want to look to be utilising, guys, when we are marking, when reconning targets?
Binoculars?
Binoculars, yep, I've said it before, we've got the Android as well, that's really important, that's something I really want to get nailed down, is using the Android to get targets marked. And then with that, guys, everyone has the same information. And as well, if you're interested, you can also send messages via the Android, which is really quite good fun, which I didn't quite realise until the other day. So, yes. Alright, guys, so let's go ahead and start peeling off, unless there's any more questions.
Yeah, I'll go on. Actually, I got two.
Oh, go for it, mate.
First one, do we bring the Sierra at all? Or should me and Fox just hang back?
You'll hang back until we most likely, once we know that we've taken the town, the village of Terrapung, then I'm going to look to call you in, because I want to utilise the crows and get you guys used to marking targets with that bad boy, if you're happy to do so. So we'll look to just drop us off at the crossing point, we'll then look to get across, and then once we know that the town is secure, we'll then look to push in and most likely look to block in maneuver / utilise the crows, if that's alright.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's probably does that make sense, Stuart? That would be the most likely use of the Stryker in that sense.
Sounds great.
As a rear guard / using their thermals / 50 cal to save our asses if things go tits up, which is more often than not normally happens when I'm involved. So, yes. Fantastic. Alright, guys, make sure you're on radio check for us. So go ahead and just radio check 5-1. I shall switch to long range 3 now.
Road what?
Yep.
It's just the top down, and see now you're next.
Alright, yep. Attaching and exiting. Alright. 5-1, com check.
Yep, I heard you. Sorry, I was just switching to it myself. Yep.
Rolling, 5-1.
Love it, Brony.
Hands up.
Love it.
Fox up.
Fantastic.
Connolly up.
Under 5-1.
Hunters up, love it. Party's up. And
Connolly up.
love it, brilliant stuff. Okay, 6, this is 1. Calling in long range 3 over.
This is 6. Good check, over.
It's beautiful to hear your voice, Stuart, even though you're stood next to me. Always a pleasure, love it. Okay, guys. Alright, gents, let's go ahead and start setting up the perimeter around this current bivouac. Let's look to have Bravo with their eyes out to the south-southeast, and Alpha, I want you to try and get eyes on AOI Suffolk.
Okay, blue boys, let's go.
We're utilizing a drone operator.
Drop.
Oh yes, shit, sorry, completely forgot about that. That's because there's not more than often. We do need one, don't we? Yeah. Can we also look to maybe have a volunteer for a drone operator?
Anybody want to take it?
You can take it hands, but yes. You're pretty snazzy with the unit, so I'll go ahead and do that. We need to get that actually nailed down as a designated role for someone eventually once we get some more numbers. Yes,
Abate, what is the key binding for the Android?
Key binding, it should be Control H, and that's the way you can play around with it. But if you press Control Shift and H, it should make it so it becomes like the micro diagram permanently in your bottom left-hand corner.
I would recommend further if you rebind it away from H, because H is my default medical menu.
Yeah, okay. Same for me.
Now,
So
what
I rebound
is that under
can I give you a pro tip?
You might not have it as an
Okay.
additional
You know you got the FN key on your right-hand keyboard, the FN key?
Yep.
Right next to your little page key?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to
Set
spawn
that
on the
as
Android
your
or on the Mac?
main control
Practice
H.
doing both, mate.
Put that there.
Do it first on the
So it
Android,
pops
and then
up in
look
the
to
middle.
maybe push it onto the map as well.
Take
Yeah,
that control
Zero.
control shift H or control A, the other one that makes it small. Put that as your num 0.
Let's go for the
Okay.
Android first. Then we will try to...
Eyes on 8 times infantry, 2 times vehicle.
I'm not seeing and is it under ace equipment?
No, it's gonna be advanced settings.
Looks like a Ural truck or something.
Configure add-ons. It's gonna be. It's gonna be under.
Was it
its,
bearing
C-tab
189?
under.
Might have another vehicle.
And then
We call it toggle secondary interface.
Switch into
You wanna
vector.
Switch that to app menu. Hit the app menu key in there.
189. Yeah, I see some
Oh, I got
what
you, there
looks
it is.
like
Okay.
wheels.
And then toggle main interface
It's
num 0.
unclear at this time.
toggle main interface.
Yeah.
Num 0.
Yeah.
Alright, let's
Yeah,
take a shot
with
here.
the XM it looks like a set of wheels with camouflage over it.
It's never exact, so obviously look to find a position that works best for your ROPs.
Sorry?
Change your night vision to whatever you think is smart.
PVS 14. Okay.
Got some crates next to the
Oh, there.
vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, are we updated?
We marking it down or
I can't. I'm not gonna
keeping it
comment
for
on
the
that,
infantry?
but let's just say let everything take its course.
Okay.
Alright, Alpha Actual, look to expedite movement, get in position.
I need
start reconning out Suffolk.
Distance and direction.
And
That's all
Sparta,
I need.
let me know when that train's operational, mate.
link in the vector.
Yeah, I think we have eyes on top.
6, this is 1.
Range on the truck 544, bearing 184.
On Airways, Suffolk and Cornwall, break. Once that time's up and we've fully scouted out everything we think we need to, we're going to look to then produce a crossing and then look to take the town of Terrapin over.
1-6, good copy, break. Interrogative, have you deployed that drone number?
6-1, A-firm, I believe drone is...
2 times infantry right next to the truck.
Understood, let me know when it's up. 6 out.
Then infantry. Got it.
Oh, nice. Guys are flooding the old
Hey,
Android.
hey, Hans?
Bearing 187. 2 times infantry, range 386.
386.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
It's
think I deployed the
this
independent
side of
version.
street and
So you're
building across the street.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, next day use those guys.
It's goofy, but that's vanilla Arma for
SIGINT.
Alpha Actual.
Was
Go
probably the
for
wires. Bearing
Alpha,
187,
priority this
2
time
times
is
infantry,
AOI Suffolk.
range
Got
596.
Android and map for the same,
596.
and,
Yeah, probably had the electrical wires.
A-firm.
Just gonna double that.
Here, I'll help you.
What you're writing down on the map on the Android.
Alright, come on, let's take a look at
Gonna switch back to the MX to get eyes on the vehicle behind the camouflage.
500 if you can make that happen. Thank you.
Yeah, it's Euro. Trust.
It's 3 times infantry on 189, 600.
189,
So got
600.
that building and to the left of it.
Yeah. It's marked.
Hands above it. Go for hand. Hands, my good man. Alpha's having a few issues getting sight lines onto Suffolk, which is to be expected in any area reconnaissance. So if you would look to prioritise
The
Suffolk,
possible
train
vehicle is bearing 189, range 671.
This is 1.
Go.
6, be advised, drone is airborne.
Roger 1.
Can we get our AT on that vehicle?
Oh, great. Glad to hear that.
We have no positive eye, so we are not going to be able to fire AT on it.
Hellish we could work with.
Yeah, same
something
Got my first
unknown.
week back in school.
Have you
Probably something the drone should not verify.
You stay on top of everything then?
Yeah.
Trying.
Oh, good man. Good man. What is
Actual, this is Bravo.
Just mark it down as unknown, I guess.
Enemy aircraft just flown in front of us above the AO.
Copy on last Bravo. Keep tracking for now. Make sure it doesn't come anywhere near our position. If it does, go ahead and call red air over.
Copy that.
Switching back to XM for white skin.
Southeast.
Copy on last Bravo. What is your current sit rep? Are you happy? Have you spotted everything you feel you can from your position over?
Okay, got eyes on multiple targets.
Spotted enemy
bearing
between Cornwall,
228.
something Parapunk. We might
Got
be
eyes
good
on
to go.
4 times infantry.
Copy on last Bravo.
1 time
Stand by to be
jeep or something.
UAC, yeah.
Sierra, actual.
It's,
Go for Sierra.
Sierra, are you happy you've spotted everything you can from your position over?
We still have eyes on some stuff. We're marking it down.
Copy on last Sierra.
Switching back to Vector.
Last couple of stuff. Let's stand by. Do prep Sierra over.
Good copy, will do.
Alpha.
Bravo.
Yeah, go for Alpha.
Yeah, it's a jeep.
Alpha, how are we looking? You managed to get to the position. You're happy with it?
Not at this time. Still pushing forward.
Copy on last Alpha. Trying to maintain at least a 200 meter distance from the bridge break.
Roll.
200 meter distance from bridge. Over.
Bearing 229. Range 712.
Copy you last.
2 times infantry, 1 times jeep.
So the
Was that an actual grenade?
that's the pin being pulled.
Okay.
I can only see those guys.
Let's see, motorized, singular, stationary, and also infantry patrol stationary.
No.
Bravo, this is Sierra. Interrogative over.
I had eyes on more heat onto the left of it, but I'm not seeing it in the vector.
Something to the left of it?
Yeah. Like bearing 227 something.
Yeah.
Same range. Well, about the same range, I guess.
Bravo, Sierra. Interrogative over. Sierra, this is Bravo. Bravo, this is Sierra. We're tracking a unknown signature marked on the Blue 4 in Cornwall. Recommend you send your drone over to investigate and get a PID.
Got a 1 time squad on patrol.
Copy that, Bravo. UAV is missing back.
Time now.
Bearing 226, 225.
Understood tracking. Break.
Roger. Range?
Um,
I see it, it's marked.
okay, I'm gonna bet 1158.
Okay, Sierra crew, prep Sierra, Bravo, break.
Okay, let's break.
Bravo, I want you to push down to the crossing point to the southwest, break. I want you to look to set up for a forward position, just to make sure that our crossing is clear.
Copy that, Axel. We are investigating an unknown target on the southern side of our AOI. I'm gonna move in a second.
Copy on last Bravo, let us know when you're Oscar.
Sierra up and good to go.
Fantastic, Sierra. Keep engine off for the moment. We're going to have you push out once Bravo knows that the crossing is clear.
Sierra copies.
We are investigating possible heat signatures. Over.
Copy on last Alpha. I believe everything at this time at AOI Suffolk has been spotted. Break. Going by the Blue 4, going by the Android, is there anything else that needs spotting?
Not that we see. If you You guys spotted everything you could. Yeah, we don't really have any eyes on from our pause. Over.
Good copy on last Alpha. I want you to go ahead and break position, and I want you to look to push to the crossing point and link up with Bravo. Over.
It's a good way to get out of here.
Alpha Bravo is actual.
From this DV?
Yeah.
Lights and noise discipline from here on out.
Front left around the arsenal, I guess, and then take a right behind the arsenal.
Left. Keep left of the arsenal, then turn right.
Yeah.
Roger. I feel like I want to take the road reference map. Follow that till for about 200 meters, and then go off-road right. To get perpendicular to the cross. Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. I got shots fired.
Yeah. Doubting if it's south or west-southwest.
Yeah.
It's south.
Sound, copy.
Alright, Alpha Bravo, we are without the drone at this time. We have lost the drone. Let's go ahead and continue on mission. We still are unaware of our current position. Bravo, let's you expedite movement to crossing point.
Bravo, we are Mike.
Messenger.
Yep, light and noise discipline from here on out, gents.
Otherwise, we could shift out east, 110 through the wall, and then head south. Might be easier.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we crush that wall, we're gonna make a lot of noise.
1-6, be advised, 4-2 Bravo's guns are laid in. They're able to provide elimination, HE, and smoke concealment. Over.
Fantastic news, 6, good copy on last break. Be advised, we are currently Oscar Mike to the cross points, looking to set up security and ascertain situation.
Understood, 6 out.
Guess we're heading straight for the assault point at Terrapong.
After the Bravo red there.
Copy on last, maintain position, gents, keep low profile.
Curious about the discussed outpost, actually.
That was my second question about the ignored. It says disused.
Ah,
and I don't think
discussed. Sorry.
I don't think disused is an actual word.
Might actually be a good point to drop everyone off, though.
Yeah.
And have an assault from there on out.
But I think regardless, we're gonna be spotted from the south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copy that, Bravo.
Well, as long as we don't turn the lights on.
Engines on.
Sierra, actual standby to move.
Sierra standing by. There's 3 times boats down south.
Sign it up.
Actual Sierra, spot report. Sierra has eyes on 3 times rubber dinghies south.
Do you have range and direction?
What did you say on radio?
I missed that, sorry.
Actual, say again, last.
Sierra, AOI Cornwall, 3 times boat.
A firm, AOI Cornwall.
Last Sierra, continue on route, then mark that map to get across, break.
I'm marking now.
I feel this cover, we are set. Set.
Range is 513, bearing 184.
Sierra,
We're being hailed.
Yeah, I know. I'm working.
Sierra, actually.
Go for Sierra.
Red air spotted.
Sierra, engine off. Everybody
Engine
else,
off.
red mark.
Engine gold.
More enemy heli coming. Sierra, actual, if you're going on the stage itself on the eastern side of the crossing point, let's find the shallowest point of crossing, and let's push Alpha and Bravo to the assault point over.
Eastern side of the crossing.
Alright, Alpha and Bravo to me.
Roger.
Sierra moving. Hold here. Actual Sierra in position, east side of crossing.
160 lines, teleporting now.
Much appreciated, 6, not gonna be Oscar Mike.
Go ahead and cut the engine for now.
Right, let's push out. Alpha push out. Bravo falling behind. Maintain low profile. Noise and light discipline from here on out. 6. Message from 1. Go.
Shallow part should be 25, bearing 257.
Yeah, straight ahead.
Yeah. In thermals it doesn't really look that shallow.
Based on your recon break, we'll advise when they're ready for guns over.
Fantastic, need 6. We'll let you know how it goes. Up.
I hear a jet engine. Can't see it.
Got 0 heat in the air.
Whisper only, gents. Whisper only.
See, someone skylining.
Yeah, crossing the hill just. That's 7,
Yeah.
that's about 8. Got my gun turned south. Is it just me, or is short range really bad now?
I hear it just fine.
They're reaching the UAZ and infantry.
Yep. One was over at the bridge, by the way.
Say again?
One was over at the bridge, by the way.
I think that's mechanized.
Alright, so BMP.
Likely.
Alright. I've lost short range.
Yeah, mechanized infantry and some regular infantry.
Get one. Wagon 1 is CR1 being west. We'll both see you 343. Over.
Red air. Heli.
Red air.
2-time.
Where do you got it? North?
South going southwest. Well, from east to west or something.
Red air.
Negative, that looks like a radio packet. Spotted. Green light, execute, fill up.
Alright, I'm rolling up.
Yep, go ahead. Let's get this gun ringing.
Sierra, this is actually, I need you expedite movement to Terrapong, over.
Sierra moving. Keep the heading off 240. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry, I just lost. I have to drive in. I'm buttoned in, so I'm driving in thermal.
Okay.
240.
Got infantry inside buildings towards the south.
Bravo, this is actual, I need you pushing southwest. It's been clearing out the rest of the town. Copy that. Gonna try to move there.
Enemy infantry right next to Sierra.
Carolina reverse.
Alright, Alpha Bravo, I need you expediting movement southwest into the town of Terrapon. Sierra, to support Bravo online.
Interrogative, Encino's been captured, how do I uncapture him?
Bravo is on the inside.
Yeah, they're moving southwest. Oh, okay.
Southeast.
I see, yeah. We'll just head down to the road, I think.
Yeah, just trying to keep out all the lights, I guess. Hold here for a moment.
6 is 1, went over.
Friendly is crossing.
Lights are out.
Roger. Gonna breach this wall.
This is 1, Sirepus follows, bring
2 meters. Got some heat.
Sadly, we were spooked.
Can't identify. Straight west of us.
Reorienting.
Alright, Alpha Bravo.
Taking a wide approach here.
It's nothing. It's a children's toy.
Roger.
Abate, be aware, Conley and myself, our scopes are gone on our weapons after we were uncaptured, over.
Go ahead. Southeast. Let's get around the other side.
Southeast, around the other side.
Enemies. Once you've done so, look to get the Alpha Bravo. As we can scouting out the rest of these AOs as quickly as we can, guys. They may be spooked over. Alpha, Bravo, this is actual. Let's begin expediting movement to these OPs. Let's try and get as much eyes as you can. Break. Sierra, if I could look to have you hold up the ASR Lennon, looking to get eyes on TRP-7 and onwards, and begin marking the targets from that position.
Go copy. RP7.
Lennon, yeah,
TRP7.
back to the intersection.
Bravo, I want to prioritise OP4, break. Alpha, I want you pushing to OP2, looking to get eyes on Somerset and Devon.
Bravo, copy.
Go a gun backwards for now.
Hold on.
Go in front.
We're on Lennon, I think.
Yeah, hold here for a moment.
Yeah, holding. Killing engine. Alright. If you see anything, give me bearing and range, and I'll mark it.
Just killing lights. I got nothing from here. TRP-7 is 300 meters forward. It's too far out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there with some autocannon asset right next to it. Just gotta say.
Go Bravo to OP4.
We could try for OP3 even.
I was actually thinking for going OP2, but more to the west of it, like bearing 288 something.
288?
Might be too covered in the... I got something moving, big, front, vehicle.
Alright. Do I need to reverse?
Left or right?
Go, this is Bravo.
So, between ASR Lennon and
We have
McCarthy.
audible on vehicle southwest
I got infantry movement. That's a bunny. For fuck's sake.
Copy that.
Alright, so we got movement on the road?
Yeah, something from AOI Somerset to Devon.
Alright.
Actual be advised, Sierra has eyes on movements technical between Somerset and Devon, moving north.
Copy our last Sierra, beginning to continue tracking. If it looks like it's about to push OP4 or look to spot any friendly forces, you're clear to engage over.
Flash, possible enemy vehicle moving towards Charbon.
Go ahead, back up, get straight on the road.
Reaction from OP4.
Alright gents, we need to expedite these recon orders. We need to get as much information as quickly
Hold
as we
here.
can.
Not sure if they're all dead or just knocked out.
Yeah.
Alright, 6 this is Alpha. We are at OP2 conducting our reconnaissance. Over.
Copy last Alpha. That's again 5 minutes in position, 5 minutes in.
5 mics. Copy. Over.
It's a dog.
Oh no! Don't kill that. Want to try to hit up OP5, see what we can see?
Yeah, hold for 1. Actually, be advised, Sierra's taken out 1 times vehicle. Armor truck.
Copy on last Sierra. Keep good work. Maintain security over.
About team around you.
We are in between our squads. If we move up to OP5, we are not able to support them.
Yeah, it's actual crossing in front of you over the radar.
Yeah, but at this point we are the only thing that can be spotted, and if it's a reconnaissance mission, we need to get further away.
Well, you got a point there. Actual Sierra, you want us to move to OP5? But if we move to...
This time, maintain position. Just make sure that the town...
Go ahead, cut the engine.
And
If we move to OP5, we've got our rear to mechanized infantry.
Yeah.
We have very little known eyes on the enemy position from OP4.
Copy on last, Bravo. Let's try and prioritize Somerset for now. We'll have to maybe look to leave Dorset. Over.
We could push south by Hill 14 or Hill 12. We'll be in kind of a defilade and we could get eyes into Dorset.
Can you mark on map? This way?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not too far in between everything. If we get
yeah, that's true. We can easily be isolated.
Yeah.
Alpha, this is natural. Sit rep over.
And as long as they don't convert to our
Alpha,
position
sit
from
rep as follows.
Cornwall, we should be fine on everything.
Spotted 1 time.
Yeah, we're apparently birthing goats.
Mechanized infantry squad consisting of 3 soft top trucks, 3 times ABC, and 1 times AA at Somerset marked on map. Over.
Copy on last Alpha, good work. That looks like a staged mechanized convoy break. If you're happy to do so, let's push movement to OP3 at this time.
Push into OP3, solid copy.
What about get back to reverse bearing 77 behind the T intersections? We get eyes on this lane and left and right as well.
Yeah, good call.
1-6, be advised, 4 is deploying their drone to assist with your search break-in. Feel free to use it as you see fit. 6 out.
There's a rock behind us.
Hands, actual.
Just get on the road in the road straight and back up.
Sierra, actual.
Go for Sierra.
Sierra, if you're happy to push to TRP9 break.
TRP9 north.
TRP9 and to provide recon from the hilltop over.
Good copy, Sierra moving. Go ahead, head north. TRP9, it's the Y intersection, 200 meters out.
200, Y intersection.
Alright, 6 this is Alpha, we are in position at OP3, over.
Copy on last Alpha, you got 2 minutes.
Try and get eyes on the bridge.
As quickly as you can and back to the town of Terra.
Halfway.
2 minutes on site, then pull back to Terrapong, over.
This is TRP-9. Actual Sierra has reached TRP-9.
After this Bravo for his message.
Should push east a bit, west a bit, so we...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want some cover.
Yeah.
Concealment.
I want to get my ass covered from rear as well. From the bridge. I had a big heat signature. That's a crane.
Oh yeah? Right now.
Continue scouting with the drone from Terra over.
Go ahead and move straight west.
Let's push as best you can to OP5. Let's try and get eyes on
OP5.
Again, 2 minutes on site.
It wants us to scan
Alpha,
Kent.
2 minutes on OP5, 1 minute remaining in
bearing
OP3.
west.
Over.
Yeah.
Negative Alpha, 2 minutes on OP3. Once you've finished that one, you put it back to Terra as quick as you can. Break.
Just too much foliage.
Solid copy.
Should have good eyes there.
Yeah, but this is not. This is Devon. I got eyes on infantry on Devon, but we need to scan
we have
Kent.
spotted and engaged.
So copy on last Bravo. If you can, engage, neutralize, and pull back to Terra bomb. Expedited.
Say again.
Got 2 times infantry, likely AT, one of them. Bearing 256, range
actual,
585 on top of the silos.
Do you want us to hop into the Sierra as it returns back to Terrapong, over?
Eyes on a manned truck as well.
Actually, yeah, good copy on last Sierra. Finished up on
Bearing range.
Alpha position, pick them up.
Bearing 261, range 572.
Bravo, let the expedite movement and try and pull back to Terrapong the best you can. Okay, Jen, we are,
Alright, we should collapse with Alpha.
Yeah, go ahead. Back up.
Back to assault point at Terrapong. Let's double time it.
BMP, break, BMP spotted.
Copy last Alpha, Bravo, Sierra, we're pulling out. Pull back to assault point now. 6, this is 1.
Alpha, be advised, Sierra moving to your position and picking you up.
Hunter, hands, where you at?
Straight south.
I'm in Terrapong. 6-1, I need a fire order from 4, saturation on TRP 7 and 8, no time to call in fire order, we are exfilling over.
Roger, you're breaking contact 7 and 8.
Alpha, go ahead on board. What was that? Bravo under. Next bearing 145.
145.
Alpha loaded.
Good copy on last 5, music to our ears.
That could have been bad.
Adjust 125.
Now I can turn my voice up. Look at the map where we just were.
Yep.
There's a squad there and trucks going east.
Squad and what?
A truck going east.
Head east to the crossing. Crossing is bearing 070.
Got it.
1 from 4, message to observer, Tango 8 rounds, both targets.
Red line is crossing. Hold here for a moment.
Yeah.
Good work, guys. Good work.
Okay, Sierra, push the board.
Go mount up.
Sierra needs to bring down the wall. Have a hunt stuck on the other side. Can climb.
I'll clear my rear.
Clear rear.
One clear.
He's cleared it.
Hold position, Stryker, hold position.
Still somebody right behind us.
You're clear behind. Hunt to stay away from the wall.
Alpha clear.
Walnut down.
Alpha, Bravo, cool, fully mounted.
Hunter, Barone.
Fortunately, I took it over as soon as I had a call for it.
Yeah, Bravo's fully mounted.
Fully climbed yet, but it was
Alpha fully mounted.
Started spotting and then that.
Sierra, expedite
ahead.
moving to bivouac, double time.
Crossing.
Hunter, I think you never had shoot a fucking dog
Following
anymore.
red line. Got no eyes on Brox.
Hunter, get your head in.
Solidify is green.
Yeah, bravo, did we actually cut out of there and escape?
I can't freaking fire my smokes.
Copy our last 6. I think we managed to get eyes on AA positions. Brink. Go ahead and do full debrief and rally intel.
Willow, that was close.
Woohoo!
Well done, guys. In and out. Shake it all about. We've gathered as much information I think we could in what was a very, very hot area. So.
Hell of a way to force us out.
Oh hell yeah! I got a bit twitchy there. I was a bit on the edge.
Woo! You're excited. Feel these nipples.
Bang, bang, bang! Everybody move right now!
That AA sounds so vicious.
Yep.
So vicious.
Well, and I thought it was infantry at first, so we just started hucking frags.
I knew that when Hunter shoot that dog, the wolf, something bad was bound to happen.
That's spy dogs. That's what gave it away. Alright, good stuff, guys. We all green across the board anyway. Anyone taking any hits?
Negative. I think Mirac is blah 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 blah. Nope.
Go ahead and park beneath the camouflage again.
Oh, because I think
Need
Echo's
camouflage.
play with the ace capture, and it does work really well. Alright. Stand by, gents.
I'm dismount here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Full dismount.
Full dismount.
Full dismount.
Well, let's jump out.
Oh, I'm gonna park it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's dismount.
Okay, gents, let's rally inside the stables and we'll have a little debrief. Just ignore the mass firefight that's going on outside.
It's a beauty. That's what we call organized chaos.
Yeah, that should be good, right?
Yeah, you good.
Here we go. Perfect.
Go ahead.
Engine killed.
Dismount.
Dismount.
I'll turn my voice up.
We've got a friendly private coming in.
Friendly private.
Brilliant stuff. Alright, did everyone enjoy that? Everyone have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good SP,
Well,
man.
that kind of demonstrates that recon is a dangerous business, especially if you're doing it in a designated area where you know their
Marty.
enemies, which we are aware of. Yes.
Turn up your voice, please.
Oh yes, I'm still.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hello there.
Is that much better, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Fantastic. Brilliant. So yes, that's obviously what kind of happens in an area that we are known to there to be enemies. That was obviously a heavily saturated area. I think it's a good practice of keeping that stealth, being smart about your movement. You know, there was a few moments there I think where we would look to expose ourselves a bit too much, warm up by the campfire. So yeah, I think overall, despite we got spooked, despite being spotted, I think that was a successful mission. We managed to get in and out as quickly as we could. There was a little bit of, I think, just maybe not fully understanding maybe movement orders. I think Alpha, you kind of exposed yourself a little bit too much on the assault point. And also I think that then made it hard for Bravo then to be able to get into their position to provide SPF. So that kind of really did fault our assault point a little bit, which mucked things up. But yes, drone-wise, I think we've got to maybe look to try and keep it at a higher altitude. But I think because the enemy did have, it allowed us to find out that the enemy had advanced AA, so something to keep aware of. But apart from that, I'm happy with how it was all executed. And we managed to get over a lot of intel. I mean, if I look at the, if anyone looks at the Android right now, the only AOs that the only AO we didn't manage to get anything from was AOI Kent. So I think for an hour and being spooked, I think we did an exceptional job in order to gather the information that we have. So anyone tell me some of the stuff that we managed to recon out? Any priority recon stuff? Anyone spotted it really?
Yeah. So
friggin' tank
at Somerset, there was a mechanized convoy. There was 3 APCs, 3 soft trucks, and an AA truck, all being guarded by an infantry squad. And I assume all the vehicles were full of additional mechanized squads. So that's that's a couple platoons there. So definitely high priority target.
As well as the BMP.
The addition, so the 3 BMPs in the convoy, and then 1 patrolling BMP.
Okay, fantastic. That's something to worry about. So that looks like the priority logistics. That's most likely what we're going to be facing or up against when we push out. Brilliant. Did anyone manage to get any kind of real detailed eyes on Dorset at all? Did anyone manage to get any kind of real hard?
From our position, it was obstructed by trees and high walls. All from the only way to approach Dorset is completely covered by high concrete walls and bunkers.
Copy that. Okay, so majorly obscured. Okay, that might be what we look to prioritize.
What about crossing the water on
Can I just point out, I really like how Baron marked the map with concrete fortifications, because oftentimes you forget that buildings and fortifications are also very important intel.
Quite right. Yeah. No. Well, as you know, the more information, the better, guys. I will never tell anyone off of putting down that there's a fence in the way or some sort of tank trap. Anything like that is really unbelievably useful, especially when it comes to the planning stage, which I'm sure Stuart and Kiki will agree with me on.
Oh yeah.
So fantastic. Any other positions, guys? Anything else? Anything of interest that we really need to worry about?
There is some infantry in Cornwall that may come back at us and hit us behind.
Yep. I noticed that Hunters put it down there that there was crates and military equipment there. We also know that there was boats. So that most likely looks like we've kind of spotted the supply lines, guys. It looks like they're looking to utilise ASR Lenin and ASR Star, whilst AOI Dorset looks like it going from the dug-in positions and the fact that that was where the most concrete AA fire was coming from. That looks like it's the most main base that they have. Everyone agree with me on that?
Yeah, most
likely. If I may.
Yes, mate.
Here, when we were up here scouting, right on the map, we saw this here. We infantry all in here. So they also trucks. So this was barracks area potentially.
Fantastic. Well, as Eki confirmed to me via ISR from the Apache, there was actually 4 times MBTs on this stretch of road right here. I don't know if they went mobile. I think they pulled out just in time before they became a real thing to worry about, but they were currently staged in here. The Apache can confirm that. So that's another thing to worry about. But it looks like they're most likely rearming or refueling, so they were not operational. Yes, there's plenty of AA there, Geki, mate. So I was lots of targets to spot. So, but yes, so it looks like they've got a staged tank platoon here, ready to push out. So that'll be another thing to worry about in next week's SP. But I think we've gathered quite a bit of information. The only thing we missed out on was AOA Kent, and that may come back to haunt us. But we'll go ahead and look to cross that bridge once we get to the end of the month. Brilliant stuff. So I hope everyone enjoyed that this evening. I tried to make it kind of a little bit of a flared, interesting approach to recon. The idea that it doesn't always go according to plan, and the idea that things aren't always going to work out the best. So, but it's all about that pull-out order, making sure that when things do go wrong, it's about damage limitation. Everyone agree with me on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
When things go south, it's all about making sure it doesn't go completely through the ringer. Still making sure that we are safe and not looking to attract any more attention than we already are. So brilliant stuff. All right, guys. Well, I'll go ahead and give you the floor. Encino, mate, I appreciate you stepping up for FTL this evening. You were good on the old comms there. Came through quickly. You got the movement orders on in there, mate. So I appreciate it. Appreciate the hard work this evening. We'll go ahead and start off with you, mate.
All right, well, thank you. This was a different type of SP than what I've been kind of used to, so this was a good change of pace. I mean, we are, recon, so it was nice to do a little bit of recon and learning how to do it. With that first engagement, I kind of put us in a bad spot and just got overrun almost instantly, and then that interesting capture glitch that happened, that was kind of interesting. But overall, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what we did today will affect what we do next week. So looking forward to it.
Damn straight, mate. Damn demonstrate. Yeah, it's just this thing is sort of movement orders and understanding the terrain in front of you. It's more kind of practice makes perfect. So the idea of understanding what position's best to look to start engaging from, and also looking to maybe not leave yourself as exposed as you need to be. The order was given for I think Alpha to take the single story. Bravo to take the single story, Alpha to take the double story. I think that got missed or lost in translation, which then meant that it pushed Bravo to a different position, which meant that whilst you were being engaged, Bravo was still in transit looking to get set up. So.
Yeah, it was the wall that kind of threw me for a loop. Yeah, as we were trying to go around trying to find an opening when the order was not to scale it, so we were hoping that there would be, an opening on it, but yeah.
Do you have enhanced movement? Have you seen it?
Yes.
You do. Okay, mate. Well, you have no fear in breaching over that wall. So it was already scouted out that there were no enemy in this position, and obviously if you're jumping the wall in, when it's guarded with no sight lines, obviously you're most likely to be safe rather than looking to walk around all the way around the outside, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
it's all good, mate. It's all good. Your scouting from OP3 and OP2 was on point. You kind of got in and got out, utilised the terrain around you. So I appreciate the hard work, mate.
All right,
Just
thank you.
yeah, practice makes perfect. All good.
Yeah.
Connolly, mate, I don't know how many cups of coffee or cigarettes you went through during that, but I'm hoping it wasn't too many. Go ahead and hit us, mate.
I digress.
Yes.
I marked the map with my marks where you can see them, right?
Yep.
All right, so you got all those marks there. Now, inadvertently here, one thing I'll say real quick, your PCIs, make sure you have your equipment. All right, if you don't have your equipment, you're pretty much at that point going to be impotent. So make sure you have your equipment, 100%, okay? So with that, we scouted as best we could from the OP1. We had the vineyards here. And put an arrow, vineyards here, which is a nightmare at night. Not fun. Yeah. So try to get a line of sight, right? LOS down here. Rough, at best. A lot of cold targets. Try to get an eye to confirm the targets. No infantry. Saw a couple trucks that were cold, but could get no LOS effectively to put marks down. On C-tab, it was marks put down around the bridge, but I don't know exactly who put those down. But on the assault phase, when that wall debacle went on, one thing that you can work in practice, and it takes a lot of practice doing this, is if you're in that position where we literally right in front of the enemies in front of us, we're in front of them, and our voice is low, get into like an L-shaped line, choke point that T intersection, and neutralize the truck and any infantry there quick, so that obviously the other team can move into the building if needs be. That's all I got.
Okay, mate. Yeah, no, you're quite right. You're quite right. Just when it comes to a hasty attack or raid, guys, it's all about looking to get us set up and in position as quickly as you can, and then looking to execute. It's just it's a case of not rushing it so you make mistakes, but at the same time looking to get in position so you don't again expose yourself too much. But appreciate you joining us, Connolly, mate, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Fantastic work as always. Brilliant stuff. Xander, mate, on to you.
Thank you. So I had a pretty good time. Thought we reconned really well. Had good comms. Had some good stuff in there. That one little assault. I think I thought that we were all crossing the wall together. So I ended up on one side of the wall. Other guys ended up on the other side of the wall, which wasn't ideal, but it worked out. Obviously, I think a lot of times it's not going to work out. It worked out because I had my eyes on good 4 or 5 plus targets that I was able to take out when we started the assault, and it means that I wasn't standing next to the bush where the Russian was hiding that used that capture mechanic to get the guys. That bush, though, when I did come around the corner, that bush was bulletproof because I had to 360 the bush to rotate around to get to where that guy was to kill him. So I did spend a good 50 plus rounds on the guy. So that was an interesting thing with that capture mechanic. as well. But the assault worked out for me because I got my 4 or 5 kills. I think the observation on OP2 and OP3, I'm really glad we got that stuff on OP2. That was a lot of mechanized stuff, a lot of AA and infantry. So just super glad that got done. And then 3, I don't think we got to see that much stuff because we pulled out pretty quick, but we spotted a couple things before that BMP started engaging everyone else. Thought we got out of there pretty quick. So I think comms were good. I think kind of like fire control was good, like fire discipline, noise discipline was good. So apart from maybe capture shenanigans, I think this was pretty slick up.
Brilliant stuff, mate. No, I appreciate it, and yeah, I agree with you. You guys did a cracking job at OP2 and 3 in order to get as much information as you could in a short time frame. Kind of that sense of panic and intensity is something I want to try and get us used to. And going back to what everyone said so far, this evening was a kind of a bit of a test in order to make us kind of take initiative in reading the terrain. So yes, there were lots of vineyards, there was lots of rocks, lots of obstructions. It's all about trying to find the best position. As I said, the positions marked are all speculative, they're not exact. The idea is to look to try and find the best position around that and get the best LOS. So, yes, so good stuff, Xander. Good stuff, mate. Love it. Is it alright if I come to the Sierra crew last? That'd be brilliant to get your.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm blind. Take my night vision off. There we go. Cool. Hunter, mate, on to you.
Can you hear me?
I can, mate. I can.
Okay. So about the pros, we got around the problem with the vineyards at OP after OP1 pretty decently. We had a great line of sights to AOI Cornwall and AOI Sussex, so I could use the MX2 on the full extent and identify those trucks and the USE with my scope. Well, then we advanced to Terrapung, where one of the biggest con was for me that I still can't climb walls.
Okay.
It's a bug which I noticed over the last weeks. I always press V and then I try to control W and try again and try again. And it never works. It says can't climb here if I use control plus V.
But for me, it's Shift V, just default with enhanced movement. I don't know if that's just something we need to. Maybe we'll have a little chat and try and get that set up in a bit. If anyone knows the proper way of doing it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help with that as well.
Hero.
Yeah, I mean, we had no real line of sight at OP4. I only saw that enemy patrol at TRP 7, and then I saw a wolf storming at our compound, and I got freaked and I started firing. I don't know, was it Zeus controlled?
So yes, I'll leave that to you, Stuart.
Yeah, I had a dog come up to me.
So
there was a great security patrol around the Stryker as well.
Yeah, we noticed that.
They were the real goats of today.
Actually, I didn't know if I should shoot the dog or not. And I was like, no, we're not.
No, unless it's attacking you or it seems like a threat or it's making noise, that's when most likely.
Or it's got a vest on.
Yeah, exactly that. Oh god, that's horrible to think that happened.
Tactical dog.
But
yes.
yes.
Best.
Yeah.
Any continue on, mate?
Nah.
Yeah, good stuff. You have fun though, yeah?
Absolutely. I was surprised that your SP went so hot because most of your SPs are very sublime. So to say.
I get you slicks, yes.
What is going on? I bet he's gone mad.
Well, I did want to try and make this, as I said, I wanted to make it a little bit testing this evening. I wanted to see how you guys react, see how you guys worked with what came up against. And I think once you discovered how hot this area was and what we were up against, it kind of, again, created that kind of new edge of, right, okay, we need to get out, but at the same time, we need to get all the information that we can. So I appreciate your hard work. And there was a brilliant point. It's all of Bravo actually. There's a brilliant point where you guys broke back from OP4, and it was just this glorious moment of just you guys running and all these explosions behind you and gunfire. So
A very
love
angry
it.
BMP.
We know that.
Yes, a very angry BMP. So appreciate it. And it was yes, it was glorious to watch. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we were aware of that. It was a little bit less glorious from our perspective.
Love it. Cool. Brilliant stuff, Hunter. On to you, Baroni, mate.
What can I say? I don't really have any bad points out. I think that from where we were supposed to reckon, we did the best we could.
Yes.
Not ideal position for reconning, but well, you gotta work with what you have. At least we have some kind of information. Now we know that Dorset is heavily fortificated. A lot of enemy guys are in Somerset. Bad guys are in Devon too, and God knows what is in Kent. So we know that there are a lot of troubles ahead of us, and that's always better than okay. We know there are these AOI. Let's just go there and smash them. That's always a plus.
Quite right.
Not referring to anyone in particular. I never noticed that to anyone. But remember that there's also like a plus on this side of things. When you lower your voices, you're gonna speak so quiet that we can hear you only if we are close and there is nothing else around us.
Yeah.
When it starts to hit the fan, raise your voice again. There is no point in keeping it low. You're just gonna make it harder for everybody because maybe you're saying something, you can see something, you are moving, doing anything. The other people can hear you. And that's gonna create a problem. Okay, it's like if we have one less guy in the squad at the point. So when it starts to hit the fan, just push it all the way up, because at that point we have little to care about being sneaky. We need to focus on actually winning the firefight. But except from that, there is actually a general lesson. Say very good for everybody.
Yeah. No, I was quite guilty of that, and I'm sure most people were. Is that I completely forgot. I literally left it all. Not well, didn't have it all the way down. I did manage to push it up one, but yes, yeah, it's a tricky one to remember, especially when you've got about a million other things going on. So yeah, something to remember, guys, definitely.
As I said, nothing, not to refer to anyone in particular. Just a general reminder that it's always best if you do that.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Because I permanently normally have mine on shout anyway, it's because I'm mild-tempered and polite, and no one normally listens to me. So, but yeah, no, good point, mate. And as I said, good pull out. You kind of guys broke contact at exactly the right time. You knew when to pull out, and you utilised the vineyard as cover, and you managed to pull yourself into the town quite quickly. So I appreciate that. Same for you, Alpha. You managed to pull away from OP3. You used your initiative. You realised that the Zero was close by. You jumped on board of that. So I appreciate your hard work as well. So good stuff. All right, we're finished with our newly elected technician, our newly elected drone operator, which is the Hands.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. I'm probably just gonna cover a couple of.
Go for it, mate.
I failed to recognize that I had a bug and the drone wasn't climbing in altitude, and just sort of went, this seems kind of low, but I guess I'll run with it. The drone was running at 60 meters instead of 500 meters.
Oh wow, yes.
That's gonna be a yikes for me.
Yeah,
dog.
when it got into audible range, they goosed it, and it's just because I wasn't paying attention. And if I was, I would have probably just pulled it out farther out from the AO, and still been able to use it instead of losing it. At least having some eyes is. So that's a note. Just check yourself sometimes. We get rushed in them.
Was it the AA truck in Somerset that got the drone?
I think that's the final blow. Yeah. It was taking small arms fire, and then there was a big noise, and then it was gone.
Yeah,
I believe
so
that was the AA
auto
truck.
can fire from. Yeah, it's Somerset.
Yeah, so that was a rough one. Secondly, on the note of PIs, we had a few guys running unsuppressed, which led to my second mistake, which is totally my fault, which is I saw muzzle flashes and fighting and assumed that we were all running. What'd you say they were called?
Moderators.
Moderators. And so I went ahead and goosed Nico because I thought he was Russian because I failed to PID. So
Yeah, that's so good.
That was a bit of a boo-boo there. Other than that, I had a total blast. I thought all in all, we performed super well. I would love to see more difficult SPs because I personally think it's more fun to eat shit in a really hard SP than to do really great in an easy one. Not saying that we ate shit today. I thought.
No, I know what you're saying. That well, I think we've all been playing long enough now. I think we're all aware of the equipment, everything that needs to be done. We're aware of SOP. I think we can start to turn that difficulty curve up, start making ourselves prepared for when things don't go right, so that we know what to do in order to make things go right, and also to prolong our own lives. As we're talking about this new cat medical, it's rather annoying when you go unconscious and you have to wait 15 minutes for something good to happen. So let's look to try and I'll take that note, mate. Let's try and increase
I'd love
the
to
difficulty
fail
curve.
hard at a hard SP.
Yes,
and do
yes.
well.
You learn
in an
more,
off,
don't you?
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. No, I appreciate your hard work with the drone this evening, mate. Yeah, it's a weird one. The drones. We know that they're buggy. We know that they don't necessarily work right all the time. But then that's kind of the same with most technology in real life. Sometimes it just doesn't work properly. So
you just gotta work with what you've got.
Exactly, mate. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. If that's something you're interested, I'm more than happy to give you that role. It's something we do need to have nailed down and glued in as a role in our squad, because it's bread and butter of what we do. Anything that we can do to prolong exposing ourselves and utilising the drone more, and having someone designated for that is really appreciated. So I hope you are happy to step up for that.
I would love to. Yeah.
You absolute legend, mate. And you, yes, fantastic. Cool. All right.
Cheers.
Brilliant. Hurrah. Right. Cool. Lovely. On to the Sierra crew. We'll start with Fox first.
First things first. What happened on the outside wall of the assault point Terrapong with the Russian PKM right next to the Sierra?
So basically, what happened is the movement order was given for Alpha to take the 2-story and Bravo to take the single story, with the hope of looking to get hold up in the windows, looking to get in position. I was going to have both fire teams call set. Once they were set and had their targets, in their sights, we can then look to do kind of a mass fire in order to neutralise the enemy as quickly as possible, and again look to expose us for at least the amount of time as possible. But basically, I think it got misconstrued. I think Alpha looked to push to the single story. Instead of hopping the wall, they pushed around to the outside, exposing themselves. And then because of that, Bravo then had to shift from their position back to the building they weren't kind of supposed to be in. And that meant that Alpha were exposed on the outside and Bravo weren't in position to support. So it basically meant that the forces in the road then just pushed to Alpha's position and just stepped on them. And then by that time, they'd all kind of huddled down in the bushes and were being rather sneaky. So yeah, that's basically what happened. So when you stepped up, you kind of stepped into the remnants of that fire team.
Because I saw one prisoner and I thought that was a Russian at first. Because yeah, in heat everything is white, so yeah.
Well, that's one thing to think about as well. IR strobes. I forgot to put one on this evening. I think everyone else most likely forgot to as well. Especially if we are spread out as 2 fire teams, it's quite useful to have those on, just so you can obviously look to PID before you start panicking. So yeah, that's fine.
Fire strobes can also hurt you though if your enemy.
If your enemy's got NVGs, then by all means, leave them on the floor. Yeah. So, but that's fantastic. All right, brilliant. Anything else, Fox, mate?
I think everything went pretty well. It's not that easy to spot something with the Sierra, since we have a lot of height and a lot of trees, and foliage is easily obstructed. Well, it's easily obstructing the view. So, other than that, nothing much to say, I guess.
Fair enough. No, yes, you're quite right. I mean, the camera is slightly higher than we can ever stand, so you do obviously have that slight advantage. But I know what you mean. Unless you've got a clear sight line, you're still in the same kind of puddle that we are.
Other than that, just generally, when in Terrafong, I was taking. I'm not sure if a regular M4 can take out the lights, but did that with the 50 though. Just keeping everything in the dark for everyone.
That's good. I didn't notice that. Let me write that down. That's something to remember.
And yeah, generally just trying to keep in a position in between 2 squads if anything happened, so we could have moved out and help out.
Yes, yeah. I think you guys you sat yourself in the right position whilst both fire teams are pushing on. When I realised that we were up against time and we'd been spooked, I then looked to push you to AP5 to try and gather as quick information as you could. But then Alpha used initiative in order to jump on board with you and then push back to Bravo, who literally timed it perfectly, jumped on the Stryker, and we got the hell out of there. So I appreciate your everything you did this evening. Brilliant. Anything else, mate?
No. That was it.
David Daisy. Awesome. Fantastic work. Rodel, on to you, mate.
Yes. Where to start? I'll start at the beginning. Order for Recce. The most important thing with recon is sightlines. You don't need to be close to what you're looking at. You just need to be able to see it. So moving up the hill for the people that were wrecking Suffolk might have been a better idea. I'll mark some on the map for you if you want to see that. As we move to cross, basically the drone went down and there was a lot of commotion, right? And at that point, there isn't really any need for suppression. That's a lie. I take that back. But yeah, like when we assaulted Terrapung, the suppression is gone. The element of surprise is gone. So we are there. We are heard by everyone on the island, and they should converge on us. Now, we weren't there for long. They might have been asleep. It takes some time to
exactly.
Get yourself together. And I feel like we emulated that pretty well in this SP. One of the red threads that I keep hearing here is that sightlines were bad. Sightlines were horrible. You were looking through vineyards, you were looking through reeds, you were looking through trees. And I think this just goes to show how important that drone is. Because with that drone, you have no obscuration. You can see everything. And it's really important to keep it afloat. That being said, when the drone went down, we should have had a contingency. Because getting eyes on Kent is really difficult unless you want to expose yourself. Same with Devon. And you might even have to sort of take the long way around. I drew it on the map as well as a tertiary option. But yeah, that's for a different time. There's no way, it's a 5-minute drive maybe, and then you're wrecked there. But yeah. Yeah, no, I think it went super well. We got there, we got in trouble, we got out. I don't know. There's a disused outpost. Maybe we could have used that a bit more to sort of get eyes. I didn't see the height of the buildings there, but could have been useful.
Yeah, I did. I just kind of I mean, there is a big tower there. I will admit, I checked it actually when I was drawing this up, and you don't have eyes from it. But obviously, I put that there just to try and stop. I wanted to mainly tonight to be about terrain reading and looking to utilize what you see around you rather than, But no, continue, mate. Sorry.
I was just gonna add. I don't think disused is a word. Abandoned outpost, maybe.
I'm Googling
is it a
right
word?
now. Disused is a word no longer being used.
Yeah.
They held an
disused is a disused word.
The irony in that. The irony in that, because
what
you really tried, Rodolph. You really tried with that, huh?
Yeah. Unused is
synonyms: abandoned, deserted, vacated, obsolete, defunct, moribund,
disused,
superannuated.
Fine. I surrender.
Hankies.
You don't have to surrender. The AI will just capture you anyway.
So I think I'm going to change it to that next time.
Superannuated.
Yeah, and we got a movement order to TRP7, I think, or maybe just get eyes on TRP7. I heard movement order, and I told Fox, yeah, I'm not going to go there because someone marked on the map some autocannon asset. and I'm not gonna get anywhere close to that.
That's incredible.
Love it. So I think I said, I said to hold the intersection and look to get eyes down onto TRPR7.
Yeah. I think that's what you said because
yeah. I'm not expecting you to charge gung ho into a fucking autocannon.
I love that description. I just want to put that on the record.
Some autocannon asset. We can all figure out what that is anyway, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, but yeah, like the essence of my statement here is that keep the drone alive and keep it at like I used to run it at 500, but even then it got shut down. So maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 is the way to go, because you don't want it to be destroyed, because it's such an important asset.
So yeah, you're quite right. I think in some aspect, if we weren't time constrained, you guys know how thorough I am before we head out, so I'll always be doing radio checks, equipment checks, I make sure everyone's got buddy teams, I make sure everything in that sense is ordered. I think as well with loadouts for the Strikers, I know that you yourself and Fox are very switched on with it. Do feel free to load that bad boy up with anything spare. If you need to put 3 drones in there, 3 batteries, all that jazz, then please do so. And that's something that we'll look to get nailed down as we now have all these lovely loadouts all sorted. So we'll look to jump on that definitely. Lovely. Anything else, Redel?
No, that's it.
Fantastic, brilliant. So yes, I think we've kind of covered the base quite well. A good spread of information there. Does everyone feel kind of quite happy? I mean, the main thing to take from this is understanding area reconnaissance and how it works, and the reason why we do things like we have done here. So going forward, would everyone be kind of in a happy position to be able to do this again?
I forgot one thing.
Hit me.
Of course.
Did we actually use the artillery support that got online?
We did. As we broke contact, we smashed. I called it in. I called it in very, very mishappily. I should really have maybe practiced my call for fire, but I was hastily pulling out. So I just literally said TRP 7 and 8. Stuart, please, love the God, fire everything.
Yeah, I believe the term "please for the love of God" was used. Yeah.
No, like props to Stuart for setting that up. And I think every time mortars are set up, it's an opportunity for us to practice the call for fire procedure. So it should be sort of practiced.
So that's something in a defensive aspect, you would call that a final protective fire. You'd have multiple final protective fires, 1, 2, 3, etc. And it's literally, that's all you would call. You'd say 4, this is 1. Final protective fire mission alpha, and then just get going. That's
this
what
is
you would
gold.
call
I need to
for
write
that
this
kind
down.
of stuff.
All right.
Pre-designated fire. Okay, cool. Let me write that down. Well, if you guys are happy to, you've jumped the gun a bit there, Rodel. If you're happy to, in next week's SP, I was going to look to try and make that call for fire again quite a part of what we're doing, using them in an aggressive manner. If everyone's happy for that, because I know a few people didn't get a chance to really to have a go last week, so we'll look to bring that in bring it in again. If Geki and Stuart, you're happy to make that part of next.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to serve as 4 for you.
So brilliant. Well, yeah, as I said, guys, tonight was all about understanding area reconnaissance, understanding those area of interest, utilizing the drone, getting those line of sights, and it's all about terrain reading and a bit of common sense, really. If you know that a position that's been marked, if you're on site or on location, you have the best eyes compared to anyone that's sort of 2 clicks out, if that makes sense. So if you get to a position, as Rodel says, and you're not happy in order to expose yourself, then look to try and find the next best thing. And that's kind of what it's all about, guys. Just a bit of initiative in that sense.
Don't be afraid to move backwards as well.
Yes.
Like getting on top of the hill is better.
This goes with drones as well. Big thing is distance over height. Farther away, we want to start our reconnaissance as far out as we possibly can, and then work our way in. That's always important. The same thing goes with the drones as well. Altitude's really important, but distance is more important. Because essentially that's what you're trying to achieve by giving it altitude, is more distance from the enemy. But you can accomplish that a lot easier with distance than you can just waiting forever for it to reach a higher altitude. Those are 2 key things to work on with that.
Okay, that's gold. That is absolute gold. I'm going to write that down. Yeah, because it's self-explanatory, isn't it?
The best way to kick that off would be to launch it from the OP and just start there.
You got to be careful doing that, because the amount of time it takes you to then get into your actual reconnaissance positions and your use of the drone. For instance, actual primary use of the drone is going to be to provide local security for us. So your drone operator is running that drone to make sure that nobody's creeping up behind you guys while you're at your OPs. And that also helps protect it from it being observed by the enemy. Because if that drone's behind you guys, watching over you from the rear, seeing guys coming up behind you guys, it provides that added security for that drone, where the enemy's not going to notice it flying around in an AO.
Yes.
Gotcha. Definitely.
Again, it's exposing what is our assets. So again, Sierra would do the same, not look to expose himself, and I suppose it's the same with prolonging the life of the drone, is looking to put it in a position where it can scout. But as you said, it's if it's not playing ball and it's not getting high enough, then it's a case of looking to even maybe look to try and get it to land or utilize another one. But yes, okay, cool. Well, yeah, as everyone's happy with the information taken from today, obviously this is going to be carrying on, as I said before. Every SP for this month is going to be linking on our re-invasion of Timberland Island. So with the information that we've gathered today, guys, we're going to look to utilize this for next weekend's SP. So if you guys want to join me on Wednesday, we'll be looking to get a plan in place in order to using the information and intel, we'll be looking to execute an attack on most likely, as Baroni and everyone has pointed out, on Dorset and Devon are most likely the two main focal points in order to focus our main attack. If everyone's happy and agrees with me on that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
I'll warn you guys now. I'm still getting slaughtered by my work. I'm already out the next. Hopefully, by FTX.
Unacceptable.
I will have that Sunday.
You're not allowed to have a real life.
No, exactly. Just your main priority.
I wish
in life.
I didn't. Trust me.
Nah,
I've tried
all good,
everything, but I don't think they're gonna budge for me until I can get a new gig. So it's kind of.
I've
But I wanted to let
this...
you know now, because again, I feel super bad showing
it's all right,
up
mate.
like
every other weekend, you know, the casual over here. No, mate, it's all good.
Right.
It's you know, real life.
Castle.
I will always say that. So yeah, just mate, you know you're always missed. Everyone agrees with me here. It's never quite the same without you. So just yeah, keep us in the loop. But yeah, I'll finish on this, guys, and then I'll hand it over to Geki and Stuart. But is that one thing to take note of is now as well, the AI, is that they are quite smart. They might not seem it when you get close, especially with all the armor bugs, but if you shoot one, or if one of them starts shooting, they do talk. They do let each other know where the enemy is. That's how the AI works nowadays, how Lamb's Danger works. So if they know that your flank's exposed, they will move round to it. If you're one squad in one place and they have another squad quite far away, where they will let that squad know, and it will get pulled up in order to support them. So just be a little bit smart in that sense, and that's something really to take away from this, is to look to, again, that idea of not exposing us too much to the enemy. So brilliant.
Harley and Encino can tell you firsthand how the enemy will envelop you.
Oh yes.
To the point where you live.
They will step on your heads if they can't see you.
And they like to capture me too.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, mate. Well, you are quite beautiful, so I can completely understand.
So, this is true.
They like to sit in bulletproof bushes.
Exactly that. So yes, all right. So everyone's happy in that sense. We'll go ahead and I'll hand it over to yourself, Geki, and Stuart.
Your first kick.
Oh, yeah, us. Okay. Yeah. So today what I planned when we made the training plan, which that's available for anyone to see off of our platoon announcements forum. Which, if any of you guys don't know how to get to that, get with Abate and he'll show you where that's at, because we post a lot of good stuff on there. What we were trying to get at today is separating the differences between our different types of reconnaissance missions. Area reconnaissance is what we kind of all know. We have a subtle understanding of what the enemy is doing here, and we just want to work out the finer detail. Today, what we worked on is what's called zone reconnaissance, a much larger area, and really all we'll know is, hey, we think there's enemy activity here. We need you guys to go out and find it and help develop that intelligence for us. Those are the two main forms of reconnaissance that exist. From there, you have route reconnaissance, and then reconnaissance in force, the last one being a really dumb option. But those are the two main things. It's really advised that you can't do area reconnaissance until you've really done a zone reconnaissance on fire. Because now that we have this zone reconnaissance done, we know the general areas. Now that the enemy is in, we can now do area reconnaissance to exploit and hit what we want to hit. Essentially, you guys just created the picture of what's going on in this area for the entire battalion or the brigade or whatever force size we're part of for that. And that's the important thing that we do here as scouts, is we develop intelligence for guys.
Oh yeah.
Through what we see. outside of that, though, the major thing would be making sure that we're keeping tabs on all our guys during a very close-in assault like that. I'm not sure, I wasn't there on the ground with you guys in that assault, but it looked like Encino and Connolly, we had a little bit of tunnel vision going on with the enemy to our front, and we didn't notice the guys flanking to our right until it was already too late and they were on us.
Yeah.
Setting the enemy to what we're at, which is do not fire unless fired upon, is always very interesting because they will still maneuver on you, and if they outmaneuver you, your best solution is probably not to fire, but try to gain the maneuverability back from them, even if that means breaking contact from them. So keep that stuff in mind. That's really important. You don't always have to stick your ground and fight it out. If you can move, do it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, hello everyone. My name's Second Lieutenant Stewart, and I'm addicted to Arma.
Hello,
no.
Hello,
Yeah,
Stewart.
hello, Stewart.
Yes, Stu?
We lost you, Stuart.
Hello? Hello?
There you are.
There we go.
There you are.
Okay, sorry.
Hey.
I went out of Zeus. I think that's what happened. All right. Anyways, hello. So all you future SLs and ASLs, take notes because Abate I've admired from a distance as his fellow squad mate or squad leader, and now as his platoon leader. He runs a great SP. I hope you guys realize that. I hope you are taking notes for all you who are interested in maybe taking on a role something like that someday. Yeah, he does a great job. The narrative that he creates, the story that he builds is awesome. So props to you, Abate. Well done.
I appreciate that, mate.
In terms of the actual content today, I thought you guys handled yourselves admirably. Very challenging enemy set, lots of recon to be done, and you acquitted yourselves quite well. To reinforce what Rodol was saying and what Hans was saying about the drone, and obviously Geki as well. Yeah, I really do think the drone is often underplayed in the recon platoon, and for us, it's going to be critically important as we move forward to FTXs and operations. I'm definitely one for deploying those drones and using them in many ways, up to and including flank security and the recon of the area we intend to strike through. One note about raids like this at night. When you're doing your PCI checks, it might not be a bad idea to also check the ammo that's in your weapon. There was I think it was Alpha. I'm not sure which fire team it was, but they were on this OP building, OP4, I believe was marked as, somewhere about here, and they had a creature roll up on them, and they weren't sure what it was. They decided to engage that. I'm not faulting that decision. What I am faulting is the use of tracers to engage that target. I'm not sure who had tracers loaded. It might have been the SAW, but what happened was the tracers skipped off the ground and they rose up into the air, and those could be seen probably for quite a long way. And I noticed the AI reacted to that. They actually sent a fire team to investigate with their guns up, which were not spotted by you guys. And then as you exited the building, it was just really bad timing. You guys were doing great, but as soon as you exited the building, they were basically on you, which was just crap timing. And you engaged them effectively, but they were able to get communication with the BTRs that were down the road, and they just opened up on you.
Really, was that all AI driven?
Oh yeah, I didn't touch anything.
Wow,
it was all
I
AI.
totally thought that was you guys.
No,
They're really smart.
I didn't do anything. So those tracers that skipped up in the air, that was just the natural consequence, unfortunately, of the AI being reacted to. So yeah, I'm not faulting your decision to engage that target that was outside your window. It was like 5 feet from you, and you didn't know what it was at night. But just make sure that you're using the appropriate equipment to engage and destroy that target. A suppressed weapon without tracers would be ideal. So that's just some food for thought moving forward. Yeah, it was really cool to see, but unfortunate, because you actually that was the instigation of you having to break contact about 5 minutes later, right? It was the usage of those tracers, at least from my perspective. That's what I saw. But again, not to fault anyone, just something to keep in mind moving forward. But yeah, I know, right? The 50 didn't do anything. I don't know. Anyways, moving forward, I think those are really the two things I wanted to reiterate. So overall, though, I'm very, very pleased with how the squad runs. Very pleased with the leadership and the communication. You guys are doing great stuff. Great work. Well, very well done. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, mate. No, I think I think there's lots. The reason why we do in-depth AARs, guys, as you're aware, is to try and get as much information out of doing SPs. There's no reason doing them if we don't take anything from them, and it's all about learning as much as we can. So I personally have taken quite a bit from that, especially that tracer thing. That's really quite interesting. It's so stupid. I've never really thought about that, but tracers, most likely, if you're looking to try and remain stealthy, are not a good plan. Oh, apologies, mate. So you're feeling a bit cooked now. But yeah, I think that's quite interesting, especially and the lights taken out. I never thought about doing that either, Fox. Sort of looking to try and neutralise any external lights. I think I get a bit of tunnel vision myself when it comes to trying to keep control and keep an eye on things. So yes, lots to take away from this, guys. And again, as you know, this is going to be kind of the bread and butter of what we do. So it's something again, practice makes perfect. Being ready for the unexpected and looking to then adapt to it. So yeah, I appreciate everyone's hard work, and as I said, this is going to be continuing onwards. We're going to look to plan the attack from the intel gathered. So let's look to try and bring our A game again next week. We're going to most likely going to be utilising every kind of asset we can, from javelins, launchers, and the Sierra, in order to get a good plan of attack down. So
Banshees.
well, I could ask some of first and what's it called, some of Alpha section and Bravo section if they want to come. I don't mind. I'm sure you guys would be happy for me to do so with that, and sense of working closely with them.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the map. Say again.
Would you be happy for me to get some of first platoon involved, maybe sort of
Oh,
utilising?
absolutely, always.
Yeah?
The more
Okay,
the merrier,
fantastic.
I say.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, all right. Let's try and get that in place. Maybe even get a Charlie section as well, so we've got designated medics. But yes, watch this space, guys. I'll probably make a convo for that once I've actually got SP drawn up for next week.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's it. You are free to go. I hope everyone managed to achieve everything they needed to this week and has a fruitful next week as well. As always, I will be in attendance for Warfare Wednesday, so I hope to see some of you gents there.
Woo.
But yes, you guys are dismissed. Feel free to stick around and have a catch up or whatever, or if not, I will catch up with you guys in the week.
All right.
Great week, everybody.
Yeah,
You
good
too.
work,
Take
guys.
care,
Yeah,
everybody.
have a great one,
One
guys.
in attack 2.